Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you how you can create a portfolio using Next.js and TailwindCSS. So as you can see, I have this portfolio I've created and we have this navigation bar. Then we have this section which has this picture and also some few details about myself. And then we have these social links which will link us to GitHub, Discord, Twitter and YouTube. And then we have the About Me section which has this, who am I? And then we have this education and work experience, and as you can see, if I click on this, each one of them is changing, like the details, but right now I only have the lorem text. And then here we have the About Me, which has the description, a little description about myself. And then we have this Hire Me button, which when clicked will lead them to maybe Fiverr, Upwork or anything of that sort. And then we have the Download CV button here. And then we have all the finished projects here. So here is where you will put all your projects every time you finish a project. And I have a name, and then this green checked means that this is a finished project. And then we have a little description about the project, and then we have the picture, which is the thumbnail, and also we have the languages and libraries used. And then as I scroll down here, you can see we have the live demo, which when clicked will take us to the live demo for the website. And then if I click the code, it will take us to the GitHub. And then if I click the video, it will take us directly to the YouTube video in my YouTube channel, that is. So if like you have if you are making your program and you're making videos, you can insert this section where you have the live demo code and also the video. And then you don't have to have the detail section because the live demo explains the whole project. And then we have these 6 cards, I think so. You will just send them to your preferences, what you prefer. And then we have these more projects here. These are the projects which you are doing currently, and let's say they are also for clients. So you have the project name, and then this red icon means that either they have not been finished yet or they are for clients. And then we have the languages. Here we don't have the thumbnail because it's not a completed project. You can share the images instead. And then you have the code, which will take you to the GitHub. And then you have the detail section because you want the person to know what type of project this is. And then we have that. And then down here we have the leave me a message, the contact section. And then we can use the email instead, so a person can insert a message then send. And then you have the footer, which is saying developed by me. So this website is fully responsive. If I minimize it, you can see that the home account and everything has disappeared. It's only the logo and the Hire Me, and then you can see everything is responsive in all the devices. So we'll start creating this website. And first of all, what we're going to do is, in my VS Code, I have already created a project, and this project we are using Typescript for this project. So I'll be showing you real quick how I've installed this. And let me first minimize this, and then let me open my desktop and then open terminal. I want to show you the steps which I followed so that you can also follow them. So here you will type npx create next app at latest. Then it's supposed to ask you to put your project name. So you're going to name your project. Mine, I've named it portfolio demo because I've already created the project. And then you're going to select TypeScript. You're going to select ESLint. You can use JavaScript or TypeScript, it doesn't matter. Then here you're going to select yes, and then you're going to use TailwindCSS. You are not going to use the source directory, so you're going to hit no. And then here at the app router, you are not going to use the app router. This is where you're going to change it. You're going to use the pages. So you're going to say no to the app router, and then you are going to say no to the default import alias. So that's how you're going to install the app, and then you're going to wait for them to finish installing. And then after they are finished installing, you can now open your VS Code. So I already have my, let me see, I already have my VS Code here. So this is my project, and inside the pages I have created a folder with the images. Inside the pages folder I have the images. That will be my logo. So I'm going to run this application terminal, and then npm run dev. Let's wait. So my app has started, so I'll just open it in my browser, and let's see. And as you can see, my app is running. So what I'll do next, I'll come to this project, and you can see that we have a very good styling over here. So what we'll do here, I'll close this, and for this we'll be using Shadcn UI. I realize it has a lot of good components. So you're going to come to Shadcn UI, and then you're going to come to documentation, and then you're going to hit installation. So first you are supposed to install this. So in case you're using Vite Remix, you have all this here. So for us, we're going to use Next.js, and we're going to run the CLI. So you're going to copy this, and then you're going to paste it here. So first I'll kill this, then you're going to install the Shadcn UI. And then here, while installing this, you're going to follow very carefully. So we are using Typescript. So you're going to, would you like to use Typescript? So you're going to say yes. And then which style would you like to use? We're just going to use the default one. And then which color? We're going to use the default one. And then here is where you will change it, because you're not using the app router, which is, we are using the pages routes. So here is where you're going to change, because if you click enter, you can see here it's saying that your global CSS it's in the app globals.css, but ours is in the styles globals.css, because you're using the pages route. So what you'll do here, you'll change it to styles and then globals.css, then hit enter. And then would you like to use yes, everything yes, and then you're going to wait for it to finish installing. So the Shadcn UI has installed all the packages. So if I open my Git here, you can see that it has updated the components JSON, the package JSON, the package.json also, and also the Tailwind, and it has also added a utils.tsx in the lib folder, and then it has changed the globals.css. So I'm going to run my app again, which is npm run dev, and then I'm going to collapse this terminal, and then now we can start creating the portfolio. I'll close that, and we are going to start by editing the index.tsx. We're not going to write very many things. We are not going to create many folders for this one. We are only going to work with the index.tsx. So here, what you're going to change is, we are going to remove these two imports because we don't need them. And before doing that, you can see that our app has changed because of the Shadcn UI. And if I come to the globals CSS, where is it? In the styles, global CSS, you can see that it has changed the initial layout of the Next.js app. It has added all this, and now we are going to edit the index.js, because as I've said, we are not going to create many files for this one. So I'm going to collapse this, and I'm going to remove this return function, and then I'm going to add these fragments. And then if I come back to my app, you can see that it's empty. So here, the first thing you're going to do, we are going to start by creating the header. So I'm going to create the header, and Shift Alt F to format the code. In this header, we are going to give it a padding from top to bottom. So first we're going to add a class name of padding y of 3 from top to bottom, and then we want it when the portfolio is in large devices to have a padding x of 52, and then a default padding of 12 when it's in middle devices, and then we want to have a background of white, and then we want to have a shadow on it, and then we also need to do sticky so that it sticks on top, and then we want to do a top of 0, and then a left of 0, and then a right of 0 to put the header stick at the top when every time we scroll. And then we're going to add a container, and this container will be Excel, and then we're going to add a flex div, and inside this flex div we'll have justify between, so that you can have the logo, the links, and also the button at the far end. And then we want to have the items to be centered, item center. So if I come back here, you can see we have this shadow here, and also we have that small padding. Now what you're going to add in this flex div, you are going to first add the logo div, where we are going to have the logo, and for this logo we are going to add an avatar, and this avatar we are going to take it from the Shadcn UI. So you can see that, let me see first, if I scroll this side, you can see we have the avatar. Where is the avatar? We have this avatar, and you can see how the avatar looks like. We have this small picture. So what you're going to do, you're going to install it. I'm going to come back, I'm going to open the terminal. I have 2 terminals running, so I'll copy it here, enter. In this avatar I want to add the logo, which was EK, so you're going to create that. So let's wait for this to install. It's installing. Yeah, so what it's going to do after installing is going to create a component folder in our directory, and then it's going to add that avatar. Let's see if it has done that. So you can see we have these components, and we have this avatar.tsx. You can change some things inside here if you want to fit your, what is it called, to fit your expectations. But first, we can, before doing anything else, we can install the React icons, because we will be using the React icons for this. So you're going to also install the React icons. You're going to copy this, and then let's install them. After installing those, we are going to, let me collapse this, and then we are going to go back to our index page, and now we are going to create the avatar. So we're going to do this, the avatar. Here's the avatar. You're going to select from the component UI, not the Radix UI React. So you're going to select this. It's supposed to import it for us, and then inside this avatar, let's do that. Inside this avatar, we are going to add the EK, but first we're going to give them class name, a class name of, we want the font to be bold, font to be bold, and then we want the text to be 2 extra large, and then the items to be center, and then here we are going to add the E for the avatar. Sorry, we are going to add the E there, and then if I come back to my project, you can see we have this E, and then what is it saying? E is not defined, and then here we are going to add a span, and in this span we are going to do this span. We want that span to have a text of blue 600, And in this span is where we are going to add the key. Let's see. You can see we have that EK, and then we want this EK to have a font of extra bold. So let's see. We have that. By doing that, now we have the logo. So the next thing we are going to do, we have finished the span, we are going to add the social links. So outside this div for the logo, you are going to add a div for the social links, and inside here you are going to first give them a space X of 14 to space them from each other, and then you're going to, we want to hide it in medium devices, so it's going to be hidden, but in large devices we want it to have a display of flex like that. So here we're going to add links, so I'm going to import this link from the next link, and then in this link we want to have the, let's first the home page, and then we want to give it a ref. You should always have a ref in this link, and then we're going to give it a class name. The text will be Excel, and then we want them to be uppercase. Yeah. So if I come back here saying expect a string, okay, let's do home. Let me refresh. Field prop type, the prop ref accepts a string. I think that's better. Don't know why it's taking long. So you can see now we have the home, and what we'll do here is we are going to add in this ref, instead of like home, we are going to add an ID of home, so that when a person clicks the home, it takes them, it scrolls up to the home. Now we want to duplicate this 3 times, so that we have the about section, in the project section, and the contact section. So here we're going to do about, and then we're going to change it here to about, and then we're going to change this to project, and then here also to project, and then here we will have the contact, finally contact, and then here we'll have the contact also. So if I come back, you can see now we have the home, about, project, and if I click, you can see that the URL is changing to home, to about, projects, and contact. Now what we need to add here is a button. So you'll come to the Shadcn UI, and then you'll find this button, and then you can see how it looks like, and you are going to install it. So we are going to come back and install it. So we're going to install it here, and let me first minimize this like that, and as it installs, we want to add the button, so we are going to add a div for the, so we're going to just do the higher div, and here is where we are going to add the button. Let's wait for it to install. It's installing. It's also going to add a component named button in our components, so you can change it to how you want your button to look like in the components, the padding and everything. So let's wait for it to install. So after doing that, we're going to now add that button here. So we're going to do button, and you're also going to check the import. It's supposed to be at component UI. It's going to import it for us, and then in this button we're going to say hire me. hire me. You can see now we have that hire me button. You can change how the button looks in the components button.tsx, but we want it to be like that button is better. So by doing that, we have finished creating the header. Now what we'll be doing next is we can replace the shadow we added to the header with this separator. So we are going also to install the separator. So we're going to add it, install it, and then as that installs, we have completely done the header. And if I come back and then minimize this, you can see that the links are disappearing, and we are left with the logo and the hire me button, and we have this small padding here. And if it's in large screens, you can see the padding increases. So we're going to come back here, and here we're going to add the separator. We're going to add the separator from the components, and then it's just like a line, like the shadow line, so it doesn't have any effect, but it will have an effect once we start scrolling. Let's see, it's installing the separator. So what we'll do next, we are going to add the section which will have the home. So here we are going to do a section, and the ID is going to be home. And in this section, we are going to give it a class name of items to be center. Items to be center. And then here we are going also to add a container, which will be Excel. Yeah. And then let's import this quick fix. Add import from components. Yeah, supposed to fix that error. And then here what you're going to do, you're going to add a card, and this card we are also going to get it from the Shadcn UI. So you're going to scroll here up to where you have the card, and this is how the card looks like, and you're also going to install this card. So let's install it. We have installed the card, so here we are going to add the card. And that card you're supposed to import it from the Shadcn UI, from the component, sorry. So you have that card, and this card we're going to style it. We want the card to have to justify items to center, and then the text should be centered, text center, and also we don't need a border. And then we want the background of the card to come from top to bottom, background gradient to bottom. Yeah, and then we want the color to be from till 200. So let me see. The card will be showing in a moment. So inside the card, we want to add a card header. So we are going to add a card header, and also the card header we are supposed to import it from components UI. So we have that card header, and inside our card header, that's where we are going to add the image you saw earlier. And this image, we want it to have a margin X of auto. That image we are going to add, and then we want it to be rounded to full, rounded full, so that it has a border radius of 100%. And then we want the width of the image to be 80, and also the height to be 80. We want it to be relative, and also the overflow to be hidden. And then we want a margin Y of 14. And then I'm going to import this image. I have the image in my pages. I added a images folder. So we're going to do import. We're going to say img. We're going to import it from the images, and then this one. So inside here, that's where we're going to add the image. So we're going to do image you can see that we imported that image here from next image, and then this image is going to have an src, a source of that img we have imported, and then we want the alternative to be image, and then we want the layout to be fill, the layout to be fill, and then we want the image to have an object fit of cover. Yeah, so let's see, we have that image as you can see, and also we have the background. So what we're going to add next is we have already added the card header. Now we want to do the card title, and also that card title we are going to import it from we are going to add the card title, so it's card title, and we're also going to import it from components UI. And then inside this card title we want to have the h1, and this h1 we want it to have a leading of 8, a leading of 8, and then also we want to add a font of bold, and then a text of 4xl, and then here is where we are going to add the name, which is ecla, and then we're going to add a span, and this span is going to have a text blue of 600, and then it's going to be calibre. And then let's see how that looks. You can see we have this now, we have the ecla text, and then we are going now to add our small description about ourselves. So we are going to also add a card description. You are also supposed to import it from components UI, and here we are going to add a p, which we want the text to be excel. One second. Okay, want to add a text excel, and then you'll also add a margin y, margin top to bottom of 2, and then we are going to say we are a front end stroke back end developer, yeah, like that. Let's see, it's taking long to load, don't know why. Now you can see we have this, we have hydration failed because the initial UI. Okay, let's see, we have that, but we can do this, we can say end backend developer. So you can see we have this eclac lead, and also we have a small description about ourselves. So what you're going to add next is the social links, and these social links we're going to add them in our card footer. So we are going to do card footer. We're also going to import it from the component UI, and then here we are going to add links. So we are going to do links, the link, and then we're going to give them a class name, and this class name we want to have a hover, the hover to be text blue 900, and then we want to do a ref where it will just have that. You can replace this with your links, and then you want to open the links in a new page, which will be target blank. And now we'll just do this, we have that link here. What we'll do, we are going to add which link, React icons. We want to start with the, what is it called, GitHub. So we're going to search for GitHub. We'll be using this one. So we're going to import this. We're going to import that from React icons BS, yeah, and then we're going to come and paste it here. And then if I come back to my project, if I come back here, you can see we have this icon. But now what we are going to do here, we want all the links to have a flex. We want them to be flex, and then we want to justify to center, and then we want the items to be center, item center, and then the text to be 3XL. That's better. And then we want the opacity of the links to be 60. That's why we added a hover to the link. So we are going to have a space X of 8. And then we're going to duplicate this 4 times. So we're going to add that. Then now we are going to change the icons. So we are going to come, you can see we have these links here. We have the 4 links. So we're going to change them. We want to have the Discord. We have this one. So because it's from BS, we're just going to add it here. Then we're going to change it down here. So it's just going to be BS Discord. And then we're going to look for Twitter. Then we are going to use the BS one. So we don't have to import it again. So copy paste it here. Then come here and add it like that. And then we also now we need the YouTube one. So we want the YouTube. So we are also going to use the BS YouTube. So let's import it there and then come here and add it here. Let's see, paste it there, and now we have all the links. So what you're going to do, you are going to edit to replace them with your actual links there: GitHub, Discord, Twitter. And now by doing that, we have finished creating the home section, which we have this picture. You add your picture, and then we have this text, then we have this front end and back end developer, and also we have these links. What we are going to add here is just some small spacing, and then I think we can come to the, where is it, card content. Do we have card content? We missed a card content here. So we're going to add a card content. In this card content, we want to have a small text which will say create the best web designs with me. Create the best web designs for your project, for your business, with me. And then I think we have that content, and we are going to wrap it in a p tag. Control X, and then we're going to add a p tag, then paste it there. Let's see, we have that at least. And then I think I'm going to change the margin Y from 14 to 10. Let me see. Yeah, we have that. So we have this, create the best web designs with me. But this p tag, we can add a class name to this content. So we'll just add a class name, and then it's going to be 3XL, and then we're going to have a leading of 8, and then we're going to do a maximum width of small, and then we're going to do margin X of auto. This maximum width to small ensures that the text does that, but we want it to be, we can do MD, and then we can change this from 3XL to text XL like that. Now we have that. Create the best web designs with me, and now we can, what if I change it to LG? Let me see. It's taking long to build, I don't know why, to compile that is. So we have this page where we have the home page, this home section where we have the image, the small descriptions, and now we are going to add the about section. So you can close the home section, and we are going now to create the about section. So what you're going to do here is add a section, and the ID is going to be about, like that. And here we are going to do a class name, and what we want to do here is add a padding X of 5, and then a margin Y of 20 from top to bottom. And then we are going also to add a container XL, and then we are going to do a div, and in this div we want to do flex, where this flex is only going to apply in large devices. So we're going to do LG flex, and then we're going to add a justifier around to space the in between, and then we're going to do item center, and then now we can add the card. We're going to use the card, and in this card we're going to add a class name of margin Y of 3, like that. So if I come back to my site and then I minimize it, you can see that it's responsive, and here we have this space because it's where we are going to add the about section. Now inside this card we're going to add a card header, and in this card header we want to have the who am I text, right? So here we are going to also add a card title to the card header, and then inside here is where we are going to have the h1, but this class we are going to add a class name first of text center, and then let me see, now we are going to add the h1, and this h1 is going to be uppercase, and then we will add the text to be 3XL, and then this text is going to ask who am I, question mark, like that. So let's scroll down. You can see we have this who am I, and then we have a small card there, and we are going to add a description of talking about who we are. So inside here, inside this card header, we are going to add a card description, and in this card description we're going to do a p tag, which is going to have a text XL, and then we're going to do margin X of auto, and then we want the max width to be medium, and then we want to have the text to be center. It's the same we did for the p tag above. And then here we want to say, you're going to say your name. I am Ekla Khalid, a front end and back end developer, like that. You can see we have this, I am Ekla, a front end and back end developer, and then we can come and add the outside this card header, let's first fix that. Shift Alt F to format. And then outside this card header, we want to have the card content, where we're going to add the small text about us. So we're going to say card content. And inside this card content, we want to add the tabs. In the tabs, we are going to be able to switch from the education, experience, and all that. So we're going to come back to Shadcn UI, and then you're going to look for tabs. Then here it is. You can see we can switch from account and password, account password. So you're going to install this, and then I'm going to open the terminal and then install it quickly. After installing the tabs, now we are going to import them. So here inside the card content, we're going to start with the tabs, and you're going to import it not from Radix UI but component UI. And then inside these tabs, we want them to have a default value, and the default value is going to be education. And then we want to give it a class name of width to be into fragments 400 pixels, so that it stays to 400 pixels every time. And then we want in large devices to have a width. We're going to have a width of 600 pixels, and then we want to also have a padding of 10 in those tabs, that is. And then the next thing we want to have is the tabs list. So we're going to add tabs list. We're going also to import it from component UI, not the Radix UI. And then here we want to have a class name, and it's going to be flex, but flex only on large devices. So we're going to do this, large devices, and then we want to have a justify of between. So it's going to be justify between. And then inside this tabs list is where we're going to have the tabs trigger, so that every time I click this and that, it changes to something else. So we're going to add tabs trigger from component UI. And then in this tabs trigger, the first one we want to have its education, right? And then we are going to add a value of education so that it becomes the default value. So it's going to be value education. Then we're going to duplicate it 2 more times. We're going to copy it 2 more times, that is. And then this is for experience, work experience, and that one is for skills. So we're going to change this to value to be experience. And then instead of this, we're going to say work experience, like that. And then down here we are going to say skills, because we have the personal skills and all that skills, but you can change it to anything you want. It's not supposed to be, it's not a must. It will be similar to mine. So we have that. You have the tabs trigger, and then you have the tabs list. If I come back to my app, let's see if we have it. I think we have an error. Don't know where the error is coming from. No, we don't have an error. We have unhandled time error. I'll check that. Don't know where it's coming from. I'll check it later, but that's not supposed to be an issue. So you can see you have the education, you have the work experience, and you have the skills. And if I tap each one of them, you can see that it's getting highlighted. So what we're going to do next is, outside this tabs list, we're going to add the tabs content. Okay, so here we're going to do the tabs content, tabs content from components UI. And inside this tabs content, we want to do a default value of education, so that it relates to the one above here. Where is it? This one. So we're going to do a default of education, and then we want to add a value. of education. Actually, it's not a must to add the default value, but we're going to say education. And then inside this three tabs content, we're going to add a p tag, which is going to have a leading of 8, and then we want also to have a maximum width of large, so that a maximum width of large to prevent it from extending, like using the whole width. We want you to use a maximum width of large inside that card, and also we want to do a margin X of auto. And then now this is going to be a lorem text, right? And then so that you can know while the tabs change, you can do this. We can change this to a span of text blue 600, and then we can paste it there, and then we'll copy this tabs content 2 more times. So I'll just copy this, and then Control V, and then here is going to be experience, your experience. Then also the same here, it's going to be experience, and then here is going to be skills. We're going to change this to skills. It's going to be skills, and then here we want this to be red, so that you can see that it's actually changing, and then this we want it to be green. You'll change this with your own messages, so that's going to be green. So if I come back in my site and then I refresh, we're going to have the hydration error, and I think that error is either coming from the question mark. Where is it? I think it's coming from this question mark. I don't know why. Maybe. Let me close it, and then we can keep that question mark, because when deploying it won't affect that. I don't know why I'm getting that, but you have this education, and if I click work experience, you can see it's red, and then the skills is green, so you can see it's working. And then you have all this spacing between the words. So after doing that, after adding the tabs contents, we're going to now add outside the tabs, where it's these tabs, outside those tabs, we're going to add another card content. We can do card footer. So we can do this outside this card content. We can add a card footer, and this card footer, we want to have a class name of flex justify center, class name of flex justify center, like that. And then inside this is where we're going to have what is it called, a button, and this button is going to say download CV, like that. You can change the color of the buttons by saying variant, by using the variant, and then you can say outline default, like that. Outline is going to be just having a border, and then we have the destructive, which is going to be red, like the cancel button, like that. So we are supposed to be done with this. We have this download CV button, and you can so that you have that. So we're going to add now the about us section. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add another card. So we're going to collapse this card, because here you can see we said flex and justify around. So we're going to add another card, and then this card is also going to have a margin Y of 3, so that it has a spacing in medium devices. And then in this card, what you're going to do, you're going to add a card header, and then we're going to add a card title, And then this card title is supposed to have a class name of text center. We want it to be centered, so it's going to be text center. And then you're going to have a h1, and this h1 we want it to have an uppercase class name, uppercase, and then we want it to be text3excel. So text3excel, that's better. And then we're going to say about me, like that. And then we are going to, after adding that section, outside the card title we are going to add a card description, which is going to be a p tag, which is going to be text excel, and then we want to have a maximum width of large, and then we want to do margin X of auto, and also we want it to be centered, so it's going to be text center, like that. And then this p tag is going to say get to know more about me, like that. And then after this card header is where we're going to add the card content. And then now this card content is going to be a p tag, a p dot leading of 10, and then it's also going to be margin X of auto, and then margin X of auto, and then a maximum width of large, like that. This text, I think I had it, so I'm just going to copy it from my project. So it was in the pages, then index.tsx, and then we have it. Where is it? Here. This is the text. As a web developer, that up to where? Up to there. So I'm going to copy it. Then you can see we have it. You can see we have this page here. So we will come and paste the text here, and then I'm going to do Shift Alt F to format. Then you have that. So you can see you have that text. You have the who am I, you have the work experience, the skills, and then you have this highlighted, the important messages, which is showing my skills. And then by doing that, I think we have done creating the about us section. And if I minimize it, you can see that it's working. You have this who am I, and then you have the about me section. So now we want to create the section about the project. So we're going to come back and collapse the whole section, and then here what you're going to do is you're going to do a section. Then this section is going to have an ID of project, and then we want to do a class name for this. So the class name is going to be a padding X of 4, and then a margin Y of 20. And then here we are going to add a background. So the background is going to be slate 300, like that. And then we're going to add a container Excel, and then we want to have the text which is saying project. So we're going to do a text center div, and this text center div is going to have a h1. And this h1 is going to be text to be bold. And then we're going to also add a text of 3XL, and then a font of bold, and then a padding of 4, and then the text is supposed to be uppercase. And then the text is going to be project, and then project, yeah. And then you're going to add a p text, which is going to have a text muted foreground, a text muted foreground, like foreground. And then it's going also to have don't think anything else. So this is going to say all the projects I have managed to complete, like that. And then we are supposed to come back, and then you can see here we have these projects, all the projects I have managed to complete. Now after doing this, it was this text center. Now we want to add a div, and this div is going to have we want them to be flex, that is, but only in large devices, like that. And then we want them to be justify around, to have some spacing around, like that. And then now here we are going to have mini cards, I think 4 cards. So we are going to add a card, like that. And this card is also going to have a class name of margin y of 3, and then close that card. And then we're going to have a card header. It's the same things we're repeating. So a card header, and then a card title, like that. And then in this card title we want to have a div which is going to be flex, so that you have the name of the project, and then we have the checks icon. So here we're going to say flex, and then justify around, like that. And then inside this we're going to have a h1 which is going to take the name, and then it's going to have a margin bottom of 2, and then the text will be the name of the project actually. And then we're going to have another something else which is going to be a checked icon. So we're going to come to React icons, and then we're going to do a link check, so that it shows that we have finished the project. You can replace it with a text saying completed, and then the other one you can say ongoing project. So I'm going to look for BS checked. Don't think we have it, BS checked, but instead we can just do this, can use this AI one. So I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to import it. So import that from React icons, then the folder is AI, and then we're going to come here, and then we're going to paste it, control V, like that. And then we're going to add a class name for it, and the class name is going to be text 900, a class name of text green, can do 700. If I come back to my website, I'm supposed to scroll, and you can see we have this, we have the name, and then we have this green checked. So now we can go ahead and create the body section. So after the title, we are going to add a card description describing we're going to add a card description explaining what the AMP is about. So you can say this describes what the app is about. Just a small description. You can say this is a gym app because we are going to add a live demo, and also the code and also the video, so we don't have to write a lot of things in the description. So outside this card header, now we are going to do outside this card header, now we are going to add the card content. going to add the card content like that, and let me see. You have an error. Anyway, before that finish loading, let me import the image which I'll be using to add the, which I'll be using the image. Let me import it. So I've imported the image, and if I come back to my website and then I close this, you can see that you have the name, and then this describes what the app is about. And then now we want to add the image. So here we're going to say image. Make sure you import it, but we had imported it earlier, so no problem. And then the src, and then an alt, which is going to say project image. You can add a small video which keeps repeating itself, but for us we're going to do the image. Then this image is going to have a class name, which is height of 48, and then a width of 96. Then you want to have a margin bottom of 3, and then an object of cover. And then we're going to import that image. So I'm going to copy this, Control C, and then I'm going to paste it down here, and then I'm going to change this from img to img1, and then I'll also change this import. It's going to be image2, like that. So I'm going to come here and say image1 img1, like that. So I have a JSX attribute must only be assigned an empty expression. Oh, we have fixed the error. So after adding the image, now we want to add the, let's see if it's appearing. So you're supposed to have the image. You can see we have the image. You can add a video or anything else. So you're going now to add something else down here, which is going to be h1, which is going to say the libraries we used, and the h1 is going to be text excel. So you're going to say languages and libraries, and then here we are going to say what we have used, if it's React, if it's Next.js, if it's Vue and all that. So we're going to add a div down here, which is going to be flex. And then we want a space of x5, a space x of 5, and then we want to do a margin y of 2, and then the text should be blue 700, like that. And then here we're going to add 4 patterns. So the first one is going to be Next.js. Next one is going to be, remember it's languages and libraries, so you can say React. I would prefer you put these as links in your portfolio, like make them links to the actual websites. And then here we're going to say Tailwind, and then you can say we used MongoDB for this one, so it's going to be MongoDB. And then if I come back, it's supposed to have the languages, and then we have this Next.js, React, Tailwind, and MongoDB. Now the other thing we're going to add here is a card footer, and this card footer is going to have the buttons. So we are going to say card footer, and then inside this card footer I want them to be displayed flex, so it's going to be class name of flex, and then we want them to be justified around, it's the buttons, and then we want them to have an items of center. So what you are going to do here is not something big, you're just going to create a link. So it's going to be link, and then you're going to have a ref, and remember this ref you're supposed to replace it with your like your links, and then we want the links to open in a new page. So it's going to be targets to be blank, and then like that. And then here we're going to add a button, and then this button is going to say live demo, like that. And then now here we are going to change the color of the button to be variant outline. Wait, it's going to be outline. And then we are going to duplicate these links 3 more times so that you can have the live demo, the code, and the video. So we are going to change this to code. This one you're going to replace it with your GitHub code, and then here we're going to have a video if you have a video for it. If you don't have one, you're just going to say live demo and then a code, like that. And then you can add a details one, but I don't think you need a details one. So if I come back to the website and then I scroll down, I'm going to remove this. Don't know where that hydration error is coming from. So we have this live demo, we have the code, and then we have the video. And you can see if I click them, you're opening in a new tab. So that's what we wanted. Now what you're going to do is I want this to be 4 of them. So I'm going to collapse this card like that, and then I'm going to copy it. I want them to be 3, not 4. So it's going to be like that, 3. And then after doing that, you want 2 sections. So I'll just come and do what, and collapse this, then copy this div, then paste it. It's supposed to give us how many? 2 sections with 3 cards each. So you can see here now we have the projects. So what you will do here, you are going to change this to your name of the project. This is the check. You can change this to a text. This describes what the app is about. Just one line is enough because we have the picture, we have the languages, and we have the live demo, so you don't actually need a long paragraph to show that. And then you can see we have 6 of them. You can put them even 4 if you want to. And then as you can see, if I scroll, if I put it in medium devices, it's responsive. So by doing that, you have finished the projects we have done actually. So now we're going to add the we are going to add the, what is it called, the more projects, the projects that we have not yet finished. So I'm going to collapse this, and after this we're going to add a more projects div. So it's going to be dot more projects. I'm not going to add a section because it's under the project section, and then it's going to have a text. So it's going to be a h1 of text to be bold. And then here we want to add an uppercase, and then you want to do font of, we have done font of bold, yeah. And then we're going to say text, we want it to be 3XL, and then margin Y of 6. Then you can say here it's more projects, like that. And then what you're going to do now is take this, you see this div which had the card and everything. So you're going to copy paste it here, down here, like that. And then what you're going to do here, we don't want the, I'm going to change a lot of things. So first I'm going to change this icon. So actually I'll first collapse this card, then collapse this card, and then collapse this card, and then I'm going to remove these 2 cards, and then I'm going to remain with 1 card so that I can edit and duplicate it. So here we're going to have the name, yes, but this one is going to say this describes the card description is going to be, what did I write? Oh, sorry. Here we are going to say unfinished, or we can just say ongoing projects. You know what to put there, ongoing projects, like that. And then we're going to remove the image. You don't need the image for this. Don't need the image for that card. And then we need that section, and then all of this we are going to remain with the code one. So I'm going to remove this like that, and then I'm also going to remove the video one because it's an ongoing project, so all we have is the code. And then we are going to add something here. So if I come back and then I scroll down, you can see we have this small card. What you're going to add next is the first, I'm going to, let me change this to from outline to destructive, destructive, like that. And then I'm going to come to Shadcn UI, and then we're going to look for popover. Let me see. We have the popover. Where is it? This one. And then if I click this, you can see it's showing this small card there. So I'm going to install this. So I'm going to copy that, and then you can see here we have the name, ongoing project. And then I'm going to install this popover first. Let's install it, and then you're going to come back to React icons, and then we want to change the green icon with another icon, which is going to be, let's see, can I say pending? Let me see, pending. Now it's going to have a pending one. Yeah, don't know why it's not showing me yes, this one. So I'm going to come back. It's still installing the popover, and then I'm going to import that MD pending from React icons MD, like that. And then we're going to scroll down to the card. Where is it? This one. And then we're going to change this from check circle to MD pending, and then we're going to change the color from green to red, so that someone knows that this one is an unfinished project. So you have that. And then as this popover installs, I don't know why it's taking that long. Anyway, we are going to come to the link, that is, and then you are going to change to add a popover. We're going to say popover from components UI, and then we are going to add a popover trigger from components UI, like that. And then this popover trigger is going to say details. It's the details for the project. Sorry, details, like that. And then I'm going to collapse this terminal because we have finished installing it. And then we want to give it a class name, and then this class name is going to be text muted foreground. And then what else? We want it to be a text excel, like that. And then now we have done the trigger. What we are going to add here is the popover content. Popover content, like that. And then here we are just going to do a lorem, but this is going to be the description about the text, because the project, that is, because it's an unfinished project. You want to tell the person who wants to hire you what the project is about. And if I click details, you can see we have the lorem text, but you're going to add your text here so that a person goes through them. This is to avoid like creating many pages and all that. So we have finished that, and what we are going to do here is we are going to duplicate this card 4 times. 3 times, that is, it's going to be 4 cards. 1, 2, and then 3. Supposed to add 4 cards. Let's see. Yeah, we have that. We have 4 cards. Don't want them to be. We have those 4 cards, but I don't want them to be what? To be so close to each other. So I'm just going to change this spacing to 2, like that. Then it's supposed to reduce the size. Let's see. Yeah, like that. You have those 4 cards. So we have the code one and the details one. And if I minimize it, you can see we have that those beautiful cards there. So now we have done the projects section. So I'm just going to collapse it. Where is it? This one. No, that one. The whole section, that is. Yeah, like that. And then by doing that, we have finished the project section. Now what we are going to do is we are going to add a section, and this section is going to be to have an ID of contact. To add the contact information, we want a class name. We want a class name of padding of 5 and then margin y of 20. Then you also want the background of slate 300, like that. We need a container XSL, and then we need a text center, div to say leave me a message. So here we're going to say h1, and this h1 is going to have a text3xl, like that. And then we're going to add a margin y of 3. Then we're going to say we want the font to be semi-bold. Then the text is going to be leave me a message. And then after adding that text center div, we want to add another div, which is going to be a flex div, like that. And then this flex div is going to have the items center, like that. And then we're going to add a justify of center. Let's see, like that. And then inside here, what you are going to add, you are going to add a card, like that. And then this card is going to have a class name. The width, we want it to remain 600 pixels, like that. And then we want to give it a padding of 4, like that. Then we can close that card. And then here we are only going to have a card content. And then inside this card content, we are going to have the h1 to say this is an email. We want an email here, and then an input. So you're going to come into the Shadcn UI, and then you're going to look for the input, and then you're going to copy that, come back, and then you want to paste it here so that it installed, like that. And then here what you're going to do is you're going to say we want a h1, not a h1 actually, but a h2, and it's going to have a text xl, and then it's also going to have a margin y of 3, like that. And then it's going to say email. Yeah, let me see, did I present? Let me kill that. Yes, then install it again. So I'm going to wait for it to finish installing, and then we are going to do an input, and then this input is going to have a placeholder, of place. Let's see, a placeholder placeholder of what is the placeholder going to be? Enter your email. Enter your email. And then this input, you're going to import it from the actually let me close the terminal first, and then after this first input I'm going to install something else, which is the text area where the person is going to add the message. So let's copy this and then let's install it, terminal, and then paste it there. So we want to install that, and then this input we want to import it from components UI input, and then we're going to have another h2 which is also going to have a text excel yeah, and then margin y of 3, and then it's going to say write your message, write your message like that, message. And then let me see if it has installed. Yeah, so I'm going to add the text area below the h2. So I'm going to say text area from components UI like that, and it's supposed to be self-closing, and then the placeholder is supposed to be type your message, input your message. And then we can change this text from write your message to just a simple message like that. And then now we are going to add a button below the text area. Below this we're going to add a button, and this button is going to have a it's not supposed to be self-closing. It's going to have a class name, and the class name is going to be margin y of 3, and then we want it to be sent like that. After doing that, now we have the cards content. We are going to add a cards footer, but before that cards footer we're going to add a separator, and then we're going to add a card footer like that. And then in this card footer I want to have a class name which is going to be flex, and then we want them to be justify to be around, and then margin top of 4. And here I want to add an a tag, no, not an a tag first, but a h2, which is saying send me an email instead. And then after this we're going to add an a tag for the telephone, that is not for the telephone but the mail, because we are using email, so it's going to be a mail, this one. And then the mail is going to be your email address. Mine is ekla@gmail.com. and then you're going to we're going to add an icon. So we are going to come to the React icons, and you're going to look for the mail icon, mail. And then we want to do the BS, not that one, we can do the AI. And then I'll come here and then do copy it there, and then I did this, sorry, I'm just going to do send, and then close that. How am I getting there? I cannot find them sent. Come here and import the mail one, so it's Control V, yeah. And then how am I having this error? Button, let me write it again. going to be button, and then class name of margin y of 3, and then going to be send. Still getting there. Cannot find name send. Sorry about. Let's see. Let me close this and then let's see if we have it. Yeah, now we have this. Enter your email and input your message, and then we have the send, and then send me an email instead, and then you have this icon. But this icon I want to style it, so I'm going to give it a class name of, want it to be text to Excel is better, and then text blue 700 like that. Let's come back. It's taking long to compile. We have that. You have the email icon. I think it's because I'm recording and doing all that stuff. So the next thing here we're going to add is our last thing. First we're going to add the separator, and then we're going to add a footer. This footer is going to have a padding of 5. It's not a class name of p5, and then we're also going to add a shadow, but it's not a must to add a shadow because you have the separator, but it's needed. Then inside this footer we want to have a container also, container XL, and then we want to do flex, and then justify around, and then items to be center, and then text also to be center. And then inside here we want to give it a h1. This h1 is going to say developed by a span of text blue 700. Your name, mine is Ekla Khalid, and then you're also going to say we want it to be font to be bold, and then after that span you're going to add this and NBSP to give it spacing, and then you're also going to add this and copy to add the copyright, the C for copyright, and then we're going to add an A for the telephone, and then here you're just going to add some random your number or any random number, and then we're going to say call me. If I come back to my website, you can see we have this developed by text, and then you have this call me, but you can change this to blue 100, class name of text blue 900, and then before this you can add an icon for the call, and then add the NBSP to separate them, but for now we're not going to do that. We have the call me, and if I click this you can see that it's taking us to those specific places, but the transition is not smooth, but we are going to stay with that. And if I minimize it, you can see we have the project working in the medium devices, and also if I expand it you can see it's responsive, it's fully responsive like that. So what I'm going to show you next is how to, don't know why I have this space around there, let me see. It's the projects, and then where was it, space X of 5. Let me reduce this, Control Shift L, then it's going to be 2. Let me see. Or let me increase it. Oh yeah, sorry, don't change that. So let's see, now we have that it's working correctly. What you are going to do next is I'm going to show you how you can deploy this. So we're going to open Versel. And because I'll be providing the code in my GitHub, you'll also push yours to GitHub. So the code itself doesn't have any error, so you won't have any error while trying to deploy the app. Telling you it. And then you're going to open Versel, create an account if you don't have one, and then it's supposed to bring you this if you are using the hobby what is it called. You are not doing the deploying, you are using it for your project. It's going to show hobby, and then make sure you have the project in your GitHub and it has the latest commit. You have committed everything, and then you're going to come here and select this, and then you're going to hit create project. If you don't have any project, it's also create project, and then you're going to import a Git repository. Click here to import, to select your GitHub repository. It's going to prompt you to log into your GitHub, and then you're going to import it, the project, which is this, and then you're going to hit import, and then it's going to, you are not going to change anything there, and then you're going to hit deploy. It's going to show you everything. It's building. If you have an error, it's going to stop building, and it's going to show you where the error is. And then you're going to do that many times until you have fixed all the errors. And then if I come back, because I've already deployed it, I don't want to deploy it again, you can see that you have it here. And then you can see you have the deployment, the domain, the status is ready. So you just visit the website, or you can click the deployment, and then you will just hit this and then copy URL. And I advise you to add the URL at the bottom of your README file so that you can easily access it. So if you send anyone this link, they are going to have the website, and as you can see, we have it. If I click it, you can see I have it here like that. So you can send anyone and you can keep updating the project. So that's it for today, guys. So as you can see, I've created the portfolio. One of you asked me to create a portfolio, and you have that. I hope this one helps. You can edit this for your own good, and then this leave me a message. You can do it. You can add an API so that you can receive emails, but the call me works and the Gmail works, everything works. The hire me, you're going to add your work details, be it Upwork, be it Fiverr, be it any platform where you want that person to hire you from. And that's it. So please leave a like if you watch this video to the end. Also subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and then leave a comment saying what project I should do next. So that's it for today. Bye.